Good morning, everyone. I'm Jeff Higgins from Higgins Storm Chasing. It's the 20th of the 12th, 2015. Okay, in this video, we are looking at the developments of a tropical low and potential Cat 2 cyclone to develop in the Gulf of Carpentaria over the next few days and into early next week, and then track across the southern peninsula to affect the entire North Queensland coast region. Right, so let's have a look at the live water vapour loop from Weather Zone. Currently, you can see the areas of pink shading, that is heavy areas of water vapour or thunderstorms and rain activity, clusters up there. The monsoon trough is really starting to strengthen now from the northwest. So tropical winds coming in from the northwest, in here, across the top and wrapping down into the Gulf of Carpentaria like that. This is forecast to increase, and we do believe that this will force spin, if you like, with a low pressure system here to develop a tropical low and cyclone. We'll move on and have a look at the rainfall forecasts now from the BOM. These are taken over a number of models and averaged out. This is the first 4-day block. You can see from the 24th, sorry, that's the second day. Let me just get my data correct here. We'll go the first 4 days. There we go, and you can see the huge amounts of rain that are forecast across the top end of the Northern Territory and into the Gulf region. We also have some heavy rain starting to extend down the North Tropical Queensland coast. All right, we're looking at there, falls there in the centre of the Gulf of 400 plus, edging onto the coast as falls of around up to 200 there. That is up until the 23rd of December, of the 12th. If we move on further to the next 4-day block, and this is when the tropical low and cyclone is anticipated to develop, you can see that the heavy falls continue to occur around the Northern Territory into the Gulf, but they also then extend across all of the peninsula and down the North Queensland coast. You can see pockets there of up to 400 as well, but generally around that 300 at the moment. There could be isolated falls of higher totals in various locations. We don't class this system as a bad thing. The only concerns for this system is going to be where and if this tropical cyclone crosses the bottom of the Gulf here. For those in the immediate area of where that may cross, those guys will bear the brunt of possibly damaging or destructive winds and very heavy rain. You know, it could cause some flooding. These totals could cause some flooding, but at the end of the day, I would rather see rain than drought. So if we get a little bit of flooding from this for a week, then so be it. It's better to see some sort of rainfall up here where areas are very, very dry and in desperate need. Unfortunately, we did want this low cyclone to come down through inland parts of Queensland to give everyone a drink. At this stage, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Maybe in time it will, but at this stage, it looks certain to set to track across the top. Let's move on now to the computer model data. This is GFS from BSCH, and this is Tuesday the 22nd. Okay, this is where we start to see the first signs of the tropical low develop. Now, we don't just use this one model. We take a look at the entire model spread. There's, up to about 20, 30 of them. There's a lot. I will use this model once we become confident and it's in line with other heavyweight models. The ECMF model is one of the go-to models for us, as well as the BOM and any other weather agency in Australia. And it too is painting a very, very similar scenario to this model GFS. On this model, we can show you in high resolution detail as to what's happening, and that's why we use it. So again, 4 p.m. Tuesday, tropical low is developing in the Gulf. You can see the rotational winds there. The northwest monsoon winds are coming across the top, wrapping in. Now, we also have, due to the development of this tropical low, it drags the monsoon trough down the North Queensland coast. Right, the force spin, you can see that the monsoon trough there extends from Kawanyama across to about Cape Flattery on Tuesday. As this low spins here, it will drag that monsoon trough down the coast, and that will give coastal regions an initial heavy rain period as that sweeps through. That's the first stages. By Wednesday, the tropical low is continuing to develop and spin. The monsoon trough down the coast here, just north of Cairns, is strengthening. All right. Wednesday afternoon, you can see here that wind speeds are in the vicinity of a Category 1 cyclone there now in the Gulf of Carpentaria by Wednesday afternoon, the 23rd. Monsoon trough continues to track slowly down the coast as the rotational spin drags it down. If we move on to Christmas Eve, well, it's certainly indicating that we could be looking at a potential Category 2 cyclone now developing Christmas Eve in the Gulf. Monsoon trough continues to come down the coast a bit further. 4 p.m. Thursday, Christmas Eve, it is forecast to cross the coast. Now, locations and times will change. We expect this to occur in this vicinity of the bottom of the Gulf of Carpentaria in Queensland at around about this time. So this is just painting a picture. We're only about 4 days out, so that's why this forecast video, to start to show you what is likely to happen. Monsoon troughs down there around about Townsville now. It's also dragging in good moisture down in over the Coral Sea into inland parts through from, say, about Mount Isa, Richmond north there. Christmas Day, it has crossed the coast. It will now be reducing back from a cyclone to a tropical low. All right, these strengths are unknown at this stage. We can just give it a bit of guidance on what's to be expected RE strengths. We all know that once they cross the coast, they weaken quickly. Monsoon trough is now down to Mackay on Christmas Day. So heavy rainfall expected in the vicinity of the trough. Areas up here around about Cape Flattery down through Cairns may start to see the rainfall ease because it's drawing dry air across the top, all around from the south, southwest, west, and around the top here like that. All right. So these areas from Townsville north will get an initial heavy burst, and then we'll have to see what happens with where the ex-cyclone / tropical low goes. 4 p.m. on Christmas Day. It is continuing to track southeast over towards the North Queensland coast. Again, we have very strong rotational winds here. The monsoon trough is still around that Mackay area. Okay, so this is your area of heavy convergence and rain. Would be around about the Mackay area Christmas Day. Quite a strong fetch too coming in there through from Rockhampton to Mackay. So you could be looking at scattered showers and strong winds through these parts of the central Queensland coast. Heavy rainfall will be associated around the core of this tropical low. Boxing Day, 4 a.m. It is nearing the North Queensland coast between Townsville and Mackay. Again, these exact positions may change. It could come over here in between Cairns and Townsville. It could come down here where it's saying it may shift slightly further south, but we doubt it because there's ridging to the south that will hold it to the north. 4 p.m. on Boxing Day. It is right there on the coast. You can see the rotation there between Mackay and Townsville. Areas around from Townsville to Cairns, rainfall will dramatically decrease and ease if this is the case. All of the heavy rain associated with any tropical cyclone or low of this category and this nature will be on the southern half of the low. So from about Hamilton Island south in around here, even Moranbah could get a good drink. These fetches are coming in. These winds are coming in quite nicely to try and locate the monsoon trough. It may be down here edging towards Rocky as this low spins around. That's about as far as I'd like to go there with forecasts. Obviously, as far as travel plans, roads being cut, cancellations of your trips and all that sort of thing, only you guys can make that decision. We're not here to make decisions or try and influence those. We're just here to read the weather. You'll notice that these sort of scenarios are not quite yet painted on the BOMS forecast. They are coming on board with the tropical low / potential cyclone to develop in the Gulf next week. It's mentioned on their state forecast. It's mentioned on their cyclone outlooks. So obviously we cop a lot of slack and say the BOM don't have this. Well, we're looking at models. They're looking at the same models. Only we are starting to paint a more likely picture. Obviously, once this low develops, the BOM will issue tropical low warnings for heavy rain. There's marine wind warnings already in place for the Gulf. You'll see these increase. We will share these to HSC Facebook page. We do emphasise on the fact that people also follow official bureaus' information. We're just here to give our opinion as well, and we will be sharing those track maps. Any warnings, we'll be sending push notifications that match up with their warnings and that sort of thing to our app followers. While over here on our Higgins Storm Chasing Premium membership, this is on our website, we will be issuing our own track maps and cyclone track maps. This is our opinion again. We'll have category numbers on them, where we think it's going to go and at what strength and with what risks. The Higgins Premium membership is $24.95 a year. You will not see this content offered here on Facebook or the app. Facebook and the app will get basic forecast guidance. All right, this stuff takes a lot of time to do, producing our own maps and detailed text, and HSC is obviously now a business, so we need to pay for our time, and that's how it's done through the membership. You can see here some of the sample maps. This is a storm map that we used earlier on in the year. The cyclone maps look much similar to this, only they will have track maps through here like that with category numbers, times and dates and that sort of thing. All right, guys, so look, it's not a bad thing. This rain is needed, okay? Many places up here around North Queensland are in drought, even Torres Strait. We've heard from islands up here around there that they're running low on water, so hopefully this brings some much needed rainfall. We don't like to see the damage and destruction that could come with it wherever it crosses the coast, but in general we're looking at some very heavy rainfall, some strong winds, could cause some flooding. Some roads could be closed, some flights could be delayed. We just don't know, and you won't know until we're very, very close to where the system is located. All right? And it should be all gone by Boxing Day, just after Boxing Day 27th. It moves out here off the Queensland coast and continues to keep going. And then the weather will be all clear pretty much after that. All right, guys, stay safe, and our next video update will occur on Monday. Tomorrow, we'll do one tomorrow, whether it be in the morning or at night, but we will post that to Facebook and our memberships sites. Thanks for watching, guys.